Good morning, good morning. You know, that's what I do. I say good morning. I say good morning. But it's clearly afternoon. my yin and my yang. Ooh, the yin and the yang. Like my zen, my go-to, my feng shui.
Living Studio.
How y'all doing today? This is a new video to me. I guess a new video to all y'all. But a ball that I've had for a little while. The Zen. This is one of my favorite balls in my arsenal right now. I've had it for about 3 years. 3 years. It's a 900 global ball with the S77 cover. I have it with the pin down drilling on it. Makes it go a little bit longer down the lane, even though it's a polished ball. I actually love this ball. I love the way it reacts on the back end when I'm throwing it in tournament settings, when I kind of need that ball that, for me, it's good in transitions when the lanes start off and when they start to break down. I use it when I'm not really sure which direction I want to go in and where I need to go when I switch from my solid balls. Because it's pro, to give me a little bit more length and pin down and go a little bit longer, and it has that control hook on the end of it. This ball, if I could, I probably would drill. If it was possible to do, I would probably drill like 3 more of these balls with different pin layouts on it, just because I love the reaction and how it goes. And how it goes down the lane. I had it for about 3 years, as I said, and as I update my tournament bag or my arsenal, I am going to continue to keep this piece in it because it's just provided me just so much transition or so much more opportunities as the ball's going down the lane. I am a down and in bowler. So pretty much we're going straight, giving a little hook at the end, and that's what it is. I haven't learned how to hook the lanes yet or go across, but with this ball, it works. It works. It gives me a little bit more flexibility. I switched to switch grips on my balls because during certain tournaments I was bowling so much and my thumb would swell. So I have a few different sizes, different colors, so I know what's what. I put the purple one in today for the video. And wrong way. Switch grip helped me a lot with my tournament balls, so that as I continue to grow, I go to different climates. I stay on the East Coast, I go to the West Coast. As I'm moving around, my thumb won't have an issue anymore. I throw a little piece of tape in there if it's needed, and they work out really great. So it looks like a big hole or a crater in there, but just go ahead and put my little switch grip back in there, lock it, and turn it, and we're good to go. So that helps me out too. My finger grips, I have power lifts. There's a few different grips that people use. Your finger grips are also important. You can't see it because of the light, but your finger grips, they wear out over time. Right now I have one that's peeling, so they wear out over time, and you can replace them to get them back firm, because once they get a little slick and smooth, you can't grab them, you can't feel on them as you need to. Sometimes they stretch out, so you replace those, you replace the ball, and it's like, hey, it's like new. Boom, boom, boom. Zen. So I said my Zen, I had it for about 3 or 4 years now. It is scratched up a little bit. We have some dents, we have some grooves, we have some scratches. So it is time for a resurfacing on it. But for now, I make sure I keep it polished, shined up. So like I said before I messed up, Just kidding. So like I said before, I had the ball for 3 or 4 years. There are a few nicks in here, scratches and bruises. And as I continue to keep this ball in my tournament bag for my PWBA tournaments and random tournaments that I go to, I will need some resurfacing on it. Resurfacing uses like little diamonds and rocks and spray and whatever else they use. And it brings the ball back to kind of life, or back to the surface that it was at, closer to the box. In addition to that, you can also detox your ball. Detoxing takes the oil and everything else out. It may be time for a detoxing as well, but some people have their pros and cons on detoxing balls. They like to have it as close to box setting or as close to new to drain out most of the games that they have on it. Me, I'll let it ride for a little while, because some balls that you bowl with, like for me the Zen Soul, I needed to have oil in the balls for the balls to react like I needed to. So it's a pro or con on if you want to detox them or not. But as I go to tournaments, I start to detox. I try to get them back to box. I love this at box setting, like box factory setting, perfect for me. 1500 grit polished, 1500 grit polished. Love it, love it, love it. And it does everything I need. I know how it's going to look. I know how it's going to respond. Once your ball stops reacting on the lanes and it doesn't seem to move, no matter how much surface you put on it, how much shine you put on it, how much you detox on it, that's how you know your ball is pretty much, it's done. It's time to give it up. But for now, we're still kicking. We're still kicking. My Zen is still reacting, moving on the lanes, doing everything that I needed to do. And I do not see it, I don't see it dying on me anytime soon. Knock on wood. Don't die, baby. 10 out of 10 recommend this ball to add to your arsenal. A nice polished ball in your setting is symmetrical, which means it will roll evenly. It will give a nice even roll, a nice clean roll. For me, you kind of can predict what's going on down the lane. So I would honestly say you need your ball like your Zen in your arsenal. No matter where you are, if you're in the South Florida area, you can find Tony and Roger at a Bowler's Edge Pro Shop at Sawgrass Lanes. They've been helping me out of my game and my equipment so much, and my game has definitely shot up from about a 176 average to about a 200 average right now. I recommended that I go to the switch grips because every time I would go to them when I started going, I was like, hey, I'm having issues. I'm getting stuck. My first time going to trials, I went and I was throwing the ball and the ball just got stuck. It said, droop, boom, droop, boom. And it fell on the lane so many times, and they looked at me and I was like, you know what? It is what it is at this point. But as I'm continuing to learn and grow, so much. It's so much to this game. But the Zen has been there through my journey, through me just figuring it out. And this has always been a old reliable. I guess as balls come out, there's always something new or something better or something different that you can replace it with. Honestly, I'm not well versed on the new equipment or what's coming out, but this is just always, this has been a go-to. This has been a staple. I have a few balls that I'm changing up. I'm looking at a couple of balls that I do a video on later to see how I like it. But this one is going to be the ones that just transferred over from tournament to league, back to tournament balls. It's just, if I could buy another one, I would. I really would.